Hi guys, in this episode of Shree's series, we'll practice more questions involving dividing fractions, alright? So this is dividing fractions part 2, alright? So what I've got here is, I've got two questions here. And I thought it's important that we practice more complex questions. In other words, questions where you need to further simplify or further factorize and divide and then get to your final answer. The purpose of this is to give students an exposure of the variety of questions that might come, and in the process develop the confidence in students in solving similar types of questions. All right, now I did upload videos on dividing fractions. All right, so this should be a little bit familiar. All right, so let's look at the first one here. We've got 6x minus 3 divided by 6 divided by 1 over 2x over 4. All right, now let me make this thing absolutely clear that when you're dividing fractions, it is not the same as adding or subtracting fractions. I've seen students make mistakes where they look at the lowest common multiple. In my previous video, when we added and subtracted fractions, yes, the first step we need to do is find the lowest common multiple. However, when you're dividing or multiplying fractions, we don't do that. All right, so they've got a different process in order to tackle these questions. All right, so I'll start with the first one here. All right, we've got 6x minus 3 divided by 1 minus 2x over 4. All right, so first thing we need to do, like I said in the previous video, two steps. The first thing is we need to convert or change the division to a multiplication. And then the next thing we need to do is we've got to swap the numerator and denominator. I'm more comfortable doing it on the right hand side, on the right expression. All right, so let's look at that. So we get 6x minus 3 divided by 3 times 4 over 1 minus 2x. All right, so what do we got here? We've got 6x minus 3 times 4 over 1 minus 2x. Now, one of the things I encourage students to do is, if you have an opportunity to factorize it, please do so, because what will happen is it'll give you an opportunity to find any common factors which you can divide, or any numbers or expressions in the brackets that you can divide. All right, now you will notice that these two questions are slightly different. It looks like the factors can be easily cancelled, but then if you look clearly, there's a slight sign change in this question. All right, so let's factorize 6x and negative 3. Can we actually factorize them? I think we can. So what does that become? That becomes 2x minus 1 over 3 times 4 over 1 minus 2x. All right, now if you look at this question very carefully, you got 2x minus 1 and 1 minus 2x. It's very easy to assume they're actually the same thing, but they're not. If you look carefully, the 2x is positive here and the 2x here is negative. If you look at the 1, in this one here, the 1's positive, in here 1's negative. So what's happened is you actually have 2x and 1 which are of a different sign. And it's very easy for students to make a mistake and say, oh yeah, I can cancel this and it's straightforward. No, you're going to make a huge blunder. I'm going to show you a trick here. All right, and this is what you need to use. It's using the power of a negative number, like negative 1. I'm going to show you a trick here. Suppose you've got 2x minus 1. All right, which is that one here. I've just brought it down here. Just move this a little bit, create a bit of space. Yep. Suppose I multiply that by negative 1. All right, so I'm expanding that. I multiply that by negative 1. What do I get? I get negative 2x plus 1, or 1 minus 2x. So you can see what we've done is to move from here to go there. What we did was multiplied it by negative 1. We've just expanded. You guys know what expansion is by now. So negative 1 times 2x becomes negative 2x, and negative 1 times negative 1 becomes positive 1, and you're going to get 1 minus 2x. So literally, what is that one thing you need to do to change that to that negative 1? All right. So all you need to do is, obviously, just to show that their expressions, I like to put them in brackets. I like to just simply cancel this and cancel this. However, if I just cancel this literally like that, I'm actually very wrong, because I'm telling you guys that they are the same thing and therefore they're canceling. No. What I need to do though is I will put a negative there. So by me doing that, what I'm trying to do is I'm saying that these two cancel out, but it is a negative number here, exactly like that. All right, that's what I'm illustrating to you guys. All right, so what do we do from there? I'll just draw a line here, so in that way you don't get confused. So I will just work from here. All right, we got negative 3 times 4 divided by 3. You can do two things. You can either multiply these two together, that becomes negative 12, and negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Or you could just divide these two together, that becomes negative 1, and negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Two different methods will give you the same answer. That's the beauty of mathematics, all right? So let's use this one here. That cancels out because that's a 1, and negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So our answer here is negative 4, all right? So just to summarize this, I'll also summarize at the end, but I'll just summarize for this question. What are the two things you need to do? Firstly, change the division to a times, and then the second thing, you swap them, all right? Then you factorize this. 6x minus 3, you factorize it. And then you will notice that 2x minus 1 and 1 minus 2x are actually different by negative 1, as illustrated here. Then you put the negative, and then you literally times and you simplify it. All right. Let's look at this one here. Slightly complex. All right. Slightly complex. But that's the beauty of simplifying questions like this. It comes down to either a number or an expression. What do you think? Do you guys think that the answer is going to be a number, or do you think your answer is going to be an expression? All right. So let's have a look at this one here. So let's follow the step. What do we need to do? Convert the division to a multiplication and swap the numerators and the denominators. All right, that's the first thing we got to do. So 18 minus x over 3x minus 1. All right, times 7 minus 2x divided by 2x minus 36. Always remember, please be consistent with your sign. Now, if I suddenly ask you, all right, I want you to times the numerators and denominators and simplify it, you will get the answer, but it's a long process. So the next step is factorize where possible. Which of the 4 expressions can be factorized? Can we factorize 18 minus x? No, we can't. Can we factorize 3x minus 1? No. Can we factorize 7 minus 21x? Sorry, that's 21x. All right, 7 minus 21x. I think we can, because 7 and 21 have a common number there. Can we factorize 2x minus 36? Yes, we can. All right, so let's work through this. 18 minus x divided by 3x minus 21 times factorize 7 minus 21x. So that is 7, 1 minus 3x over 2x minus 18. There we go. We factorized it. Now, let's look carefully here. It's very easy to make this blunder and say, oh yeah, 18 minus x and x minus 18, the same thing, so I'm just going to cancel it. No. Or 3x minus 1 and 1 minus 3x are the same thing, I'm going to cancel it. No. If you look carefully, let's look at 18 minus x and x minus 18. If you look carefully, all right, there's just a difference in the sign. There's an 18 which is positive here, In here it's negative. There's an x which is negative here. The x here is positive. So what do we do? If you look at the previous question, what is that main player? -1. All right, you got -1. So again, if you want me to illustrate it, I can illustrate it here for you. Suppose you've got 18 minus x, times it by -1, you're going to get -18 plus x, which is this one here. All right, if I literally swap that, that's x minus 18. Get it? So that's what we do from here. And I'll just put an asterisk there just to show you what we're doing here. Let's look at 3x minus 1. 3x minus 1. All right? Times it by -1. What do we get? -3x plus 1, or 1 minus 3x, which is exactly the same as this one here. All right? So the key player is -1. So what do? I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to cancel this and put -1 there. Telling you that when I divide them, you're going to get -1 as my answer. Always important. Write down -1 in this question, because if you just cancel and don't put -1, you're telling your teacher that they are actually one and the same thing. So the answer is 1 when it's not. I've shown to you that it's not using this step here. What do we do here? 1 minus 3x and 3x minus 1. What do I put? Put a -1 there. All right. So we've now got 7 times -1 and 2 times -1. All right. So what do we get? -7 divided by -2. And if you remember the rule, when you got two negatives above, so in other words, in your numerator and your denominator, they cancel and become positive. So my final answer is 7 over 2, or 3.5. All right. So you can see how something was complex. You get really overwhelmed and think, oh, I don't think I'm going to get this answer right. And then eventually you get 3.5. Something that looked seemingly complex resulted in a small answer, or a simple answer, a number which is 3.5. How did we achieve that? Let's go through the steps. Convert the division to a multiplication. Swap the numerators and the denominators to your right. Factorize where possible. What do we factorize? 7 minus 21x and 2x minus 36. We factorize them. All right. We notice what is common between 18 minus x and x minus 18. -1. You see here that working out was right there. 3x minus 1 and 1 minus 3x. Again, -1. So what did I do? I canceled and put a -1, telling you that that's what it simplifies to. Cancel that and put -1, and then you multiply. 7 times -1 is -7. 2 times -1 is -2. 7 over 2 becomes 3.5. All right. What prior topics do I need to do to answer this question? You need to learn to divide fractions. Again, like I said in the previous video, if you don't know how to divide questions, this question is going to be hard. Second one, can I factorize? If I can't factorize, this question is going to be hard. These two required you to factorize. The third one, would I be able to know that there is actually a -1 between these two to get to the answer? If I didn't know that, you're going to make a mistake. All right. So like I said before, to answer these questions, you need to have 2 or 3 prior maths topic knowledge in order to apply. If not, these questions will be absolutely hard to solve. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye for now.